All right, everyone. What's up? Time for another edition of Personnel Decisions Tuesday or Front Office Tuesday or whatever we're calling it now. You guys know how it goes. You guys know the drill. So let's just go ahead and jump right in, starting with the free agent re-signings. How they doing? Not great. Chris Carson's out for the year, so these numbers are going to remain unchanged. Assuming that he gets cut this offseason, we will have ultimately paid about $10 million for 60 touches and 261 yards. So, yeah. Not saying that we should necessarily kill the front office for this because he did suffer a major injury that he had not suffered before, but he had suffered other injuries, and we also knew he wasn't a great fit for this new offense, and so on and so on. So, take from it what you will. Alex Collins had a pretty forgettable game. He had like 10 touches and 36 yards. I don't think he's playing badly or anything. In fact, I think for the most part he's playing about as good as he can play given the situation. But the opportunities haven't been there for him lately like they were against the Steelers. He only played like 18 snaps in this game anyway, so PFF still likes him. PFF still thinks he's good, so we got that going for us. So for the money we're paying him, Collins is fine. Ethan Posick played the full game against the Cardinals. Seemed to play fine overall. His PFF grade dipped a little bit to 66, but it was up at 70, so it wasn't a great game for him or something, according to PFF. I don't know. I didn't notice him out there in any overwhelmingly negative ways. Like, sometimes people say, an offensive lineman's doing their job when people don't talk about him, and maybe that's the best I can say about Posick. I'm not really talking about him very much. Poona Ford played a lot of snaps on Sunday against the Cardinals. He had 2 tackles and a QB hit that resulted in his first sack of the year, which was actually just a half sack. So Poona Ford is on the board. And look, Poona Ford's playing pretty well this year by my estimation. PFF grade's good. He's doing his job in stopping the run as near as I can tell, but the three tech experiment has to end. This three tech experiment, it better not carry over into next year. He's a one tech, and there's nothing wrong with that. But whatever hope you had for him becoming a reliable interior pass rusher, it's not there. He's a one tech. Period. Okay, Carlos Dunlap did not play very much. Recorded 2 tackles. Did not throw a shoe. And that's really all that can be said for him. He was physically present on my screen when I watched the game on Sunday. PFF grade is still pretty good, which, as I've said before, I guess it indicates that he's being reasonably efficient, but I didn't pay $10 million a year for efficiency. So, yeah. We are now 10 games in. He has half a sack and 4 QB hits. And this is one of the decisions that really needs to be remembered as we go forward into the upcoming offseason because, look, we are fans. We are fans who sit in front of our computers, in front of our TVs. We will get reports from beat writers. We just go off what we can go off of. But the front office, Carroll, Schneider, scouts, etc., they're paid millions of dollars to figure out which players have something left to give and which ones don't. Dunlap didn't. And you paid him 30 mil anyway, or whatever it was. 20 something mil. 10 mil a year is the point. So that needs to be on the front page of the front office, what should we call it, post-mortem when this season is over. Benson Mayowa played a lot, had like 4 tackles, and really didn't have a big impact on this game as near as I can tell. Nothing really happening for him in the backfield. No big splash plays, just grinding out another half-decent season. PFF thinks he's fine, 62.6. It bumped up a little bit this week, so I guess they gave him credit for something, but what, I don't know, because he could have been anybody out there as far as I'm concerned, but it's not like this season's his fault. Okay, free agent signings / trades. Got a few things to go over here. Gerald Everett had a decent game. He had 3 catches for 37 yards. Catch rate is still really high. I want to see him featured more in this offense the rest of the year because with Wilson out there or with Geno out there, it just seems like good things are happening right now when Everett gets the ball. He's one of the high points of this offense for me right now. His PFF grade is still nothing special, 63.6, but I think we can get that number up if we start to feature him a little bit more, and I think he can help this offense along. I feel like good things happen when you throw the ball in his direction over the last couple weeks. Gabe Jackson played every snap, and he finally allowed a sack. So 569 snaps in, he finally gave up a sack. It was on that stunt, which, I don't know. Looking at the play, you could just as easily blame it on Brandon Shell, and I wouldn't begrudge anybody that, but I think it's reasonable. He had a good PFF grade for that game overall. Still graded pretty well, 64.2. He's not, we made the meat analogy in the stream with Hawk's Nest. He's certainly no prime rib, but he's getting it done. He's doing his job. I don't mind myself a little bit of Gabe Jackson. Okay, Al Woods had a decent chunk of action against the Cardinals. I think he had, let me check here. Yeah, he had 2 tackles. Not a whole lot to write home about. His PFF grade is still way up there, 75.2. I think it was unmoved from last week, so he is continuing to do his job. There are other players on this team that seem like they're not, but I got to call out and give credit where credit is due. Al Woods is having a very good season for what I expected. Speaking of playing a lot of snaps, Kerry Hyder got a decent chunk of action against the Cardinals as well. And he had, what was it? Let's check the edit history. Four tackles and a QB hit and a TFL. So, relatively busy day for Kerry Hyder. At least he made some plays. His PFF grade actually went down a little bit despite that. He probably took a hit for some of the struggles of the defense overall, which is reasonable. But Kerry Hyder is another part of this defense that I think has been pretty decent so far. Definitely not putting the season struggles on him. He seems like he's all right. Blessuan Austin finally got on the field on D. 63 snaps. Now, going from 0 snaps to 63 in one game is bad, but it was forced on us. I understand that. As for how Blessuan played, he had 2 tackles, was targeted 4 times, and gave up 4 receptions, but I don't think he played too badly, especially given the circumstances. 65.4 PFF grade is pretty good. And the expectations for him, given the fact that we have very little pass rush, has to be pretty low. So I'm down with Blessuan after that game. I want to see what he has to offer going forward, especially because we know we don't have Trey Brown. And Sidney Jones played a respectable game. His PFF grade is still on the rise. It's up at 58 almost. He had a TFL and 11 tackles. So he's getting better. Still not really a Sidney Jones fan, but he's getting better. Okay, draft picks and UDFAs, and this is going to be quick. Dwayne Eskridge played 11 snaps, did not touch the ball. His PFF grade is now below 60. Trey Brown only played 23 snaps or whatever it was. Had 1 tackle, didn't do much. Got beat a couple times, had a PI call that I still think was kind of questionable. And then he got hurt, and he's done for the year. It's pretty much official, by the way. PFF grade dropped to 61.1. Overall, I feel like Trey Brown had a very solid rookie campaign, if not for the fact that it was extremely short. And, yeah, that makes both our top draft picks missing huge chunks of their rookie year to injuries. So not a good look for the front office either. Remember these things this offseason if and when this front office tries to convince you that this was just bad luck. Some of this stuff might be bad luck, but a lot of it isn't. Don't buy it. Jake Curhan played 6 snaps at the end of the game because Shell got dinged up. Gave up a sack. His PFF grade fell to 34.7. Now, by no means am I judging Jake Curhan based off 41 snaps as a rookie. But please do not tell me that he's the plan to start at right tackle next year. That is a long-term project. Unfortunately, the transition is not going to be clean there. So, yeah, Jake Curhan got on the field a little bit, and that's it for the rookies. And unless something huge changes with Dwayne Eskridge's playtime soon, that's probably about all we're going to get this year, which that's not good because remember what I told you guys. We needed a hit in the draft. We needed a hit with those 3 picks. We needed a hit in UDFA. About the only meaningful thing we've gotten so far this year is a month of good football from Trey Brown. That's it from the rookies. Okay, now we're going to do our free agent departures. Shaq Griffin only played about half the game against the Niners. I don't know what happened. I guess he got hurt. He played like 52% of the snaps, and he's played in basically 100% the other games. So I assume he got hurt. He had one tackle, he gave up one reception, and didn't do a whole heck of a lot when he was in there. His PFF grade is still quite good, 72.1, very solid. I assume he didn't get benched because he's playing well. That wouldn't make a lot of sense for Jacksonville. Jaron Reid made another splash for the Chiefs 2 games in a row when he's at least made an impact play. He got like 40-something snaps against the Cowboys, had 4 tackles, a QB hit, and half a sack, so he's starting to build him up. PFF still hates him. I don't know if he insulted their mothers or something, but PFF thinks he's like one of the worst defensive linemen who gets playtime in the league, which is crazy. I I can buy him not being good, but I don't know if he's this bad. Again, I don't know. Did he spit in somebody's cereal at PFF's office? I don't know. But Jaron Reid is starting to at least make some plays. KJ Wright played 20 snaps for the Raiders, made 2 tackles, and that's about it. His PFF grade has leveled off down at about 63.7, still decent, but part-time player. Definition of a part-time player. The Raiders have played, 10 games? And he's got 187 snaps. Like, he is in a different phase of his career, guys. No doubt about it. So if you think he's the reason why this defense sucks, that he's not here, not likely. Carlos Hyde played a handful of snaps and did not touch the ball, so nothing new here. His PFF grade is down to 56.9, so, I mean, he's a backup running back. It's whatever. Nothing really to read into there. And Trey Flowers played 1 snap on defense for the Bengals, and his PFF grade went up 0.1, so he's coming on strong, right? He's figuring it out, and the Trey Flowers era is about to begin. And that's it. It's getting worse and worse by the week, ain't it? And look, some of this is bad luck. Trey Brown getting injured is kind of bad luck, sure. But there's nothing bad luck about Dunlap, okay? It's your job to see that kind of stuff coming before you give him the extension, okay? Chris Carson is not bad luck. I mean, a little bit, but you needed to understand what you were getting into with Carson, and you knew you were making a risky bet. Now, I'm not going to throw a fit about it because the money was reasonable. The contract is cheap. It wasn't the $24 million initially reported, but this is not a good look right now. These things are not a good look for this front office, and I hope that we as fans remember how ugly some of this stuff is, how inefficient we were in utilizing our resources this offseason. Some of the stuff here that's good is losing its luster with each passing week, it seems. So, yep, that's how you have a bad season, I guess. That's one of the steps. See you guys later today. Peace out, go Hawks. And, yeah, we're still not having any fun. Pete Carroll's not having fun, and neither are we.